Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think everyone hear me, I hope. Okay, good. I have to start very, very fast. I have only 15 minutes, so let me start some talk about the cybersecurity starting from the perspective about the main trend, what we see on the market in the next years. One of the points what we see in our work is the mobility. We work everywhere. We work in the office, we work at home, we work in the coffee room. We would like to be mobile. We would like to move, and also the younger people, they use devices everywhere. Also, another trend what we see is how powerful our devices are. Our devices in the next 10 years, for example, mobile phones, will be not the 10 times powerful, will be billion times powerful. What that means? We use the devices, work on our data, numbers of data increasing, data that can be or must be protected, can be the potential goal for the attack, increase dramatically in the next years. And that's something what we have to realize today. We expect that in 2018, on the worldwide, will be spent around $90 billion on the security, to secure our data, secure our identity against the cyber attacks. Cybercrime will not disappear. Cybercrime will be more sophisticated, more smart, more fast, and also we use the much more sophisticated software to attack our data, to grab our identity, and to use and steal our assets or our personal information. So the cybercrime is an issue for everyone. It's for the public, for the states. Thank you. For the states and for us as a people. We at work, we work for realization. After work, we are physical people and we still could be under attack. So it's a common issue, rapidly increase worldwide. Just to see some data, you see that around it's more and more, it's a 40% year-to-year growth, breaches, cyber attacks, every year is increasing, and just only a few things, as an example, the latest, what you maybe remember, just give you the flowers, how problem is important. Or maybe you remember that $81 million was stolen from the Bangladesh bank by the cyber criminals. Around 117 million emails was stolen from the LinkedIn just a year ago. Around 500 million accounts was stolen from Yahoo. That's a dramatic increase of stolen data, what also exposed us on the risk to lose our assets. And this graph shows you another trend. We have a quite nice security of our data on servers, in big institutions, in the state, because when we think about the security, we think about the data centers, servers, storages. But we observe that the numbers of attacks on the data centers decreasing. Why? Because the much weaker point to get the access to go in, there are our devices, mobiles, mobile phones, notebooks, even printers. So if we see during the last 6 years, the numbers of attacks through devices are double. Losses what are created are significantly increased and will increase in the next years even more. Why? Because from the perspective of the CIOs, around 90% of notebooks are quite well protected. Only around 70% of servers, 75% servers and storages are also quite well protected, but we forget about the other devices. Only 19% printers are under security policy in the companies. And the printers as a device is more and more sophisticated and is more and more developed and more software is installed, stronger BIOS, etc. That is a quite weak point to and open gate for the potential cybercrime, what is actually not under the control most of CIOs in the companies. So if you look on us, our company HP is actually focused on the providing to the market the most secure devices. To constantly we work since many years on the development of the full security, because these endpoints devices are most exposed today to for the attacks. If we look on the number or the different type of attacks, we understand how difficult and how complex this problem is. Around 91% visual hacking is successful. What does it mean? We do not protect our mobiles from the stolen password by just looking on that. How many of us work on notebooks during the flight, on the train, and with our proper software protect us from the looking someone who can sit close to us. This is very difficult. We are very exposed, and our data, our password could be very easy stolen. I had just, honestly, from my life experience, a week ago I was in the plane to Manchester, and next to me sit the lady from my competition. I do not mention the company. Open notebook and start work or presentation about the company software. Nice. I'm from the competition, happy to look on her presentation. People, they do not realize how big this issue is, and as you see, the 91% successful storing the data by the just looking on the screen is a big number. The cyber criminals develop very much the different type of attack. You see on they use the malware, they use the viruses who attack our software, but not only software. They also use the software viruses to attack the BIOS, what is that below the operation system. They try to gate the access to our network by the physical, by the access to device, by the stolen our passwords, by the wrong identification. And also they try to attack us and get the access to full our data center by the devices to attack our network. So our devices don't need to be the goal of the attack. They just can be the gate to the full access to the company property, to the company assets, and all data what are on the data center. It's enough that only our mobile, our notebook, or our printer is connected with the network. And another goal, it could be data on our hard disk. Data must be protected by the encryption, must be protected by the right access, by the password, by identification of people. And this is another group of the attack what we can recognize. The device configuration, the modification by virus, the BIOS, modification of the software means our device act as a robot for the criminals and start accept the orders from the outside. This is something what is another type of what you probably heard already. Visual hacking I also mentioned. Physical loss and theft. What does mean? Means that today, every 53 seconds, one notebook is lost, is stolen on the world. So what happened? What will happen with our data? If our data are protected, if you have ability to erase our data remotely when the theft is logged into any net on the world. So the software and the most advanced security software should help us to erase the data, to protect the data remotely, even if we lose our notebook. Fraud. Also important is to have a chance to protect our documents, to protect, for example, on our devices, that printing documents are only printed by the person who is authorized to that. So protect, to stolen data, protect, to make a fraud by the using our information, by the using information by mistake printed and left by the right person on the print. It's the easy access to information what can be used. Let's imagine the stock exchange company, what the finance director before the announce on the stock announced the great result, so he printed this information on the company print and forget to pick up. Any person can read and use it. So I have to a bit speed up. Today, the security of devices is on the 3 levels. One level is, of course, the software. Second level is a BIOS, what is below the operation system. Why is that? Most of the antiviruses do not recognize the modification of BIOS by the cyber criminals. So the HP as a producer is obliged to provide the security on the BIOS. Security would help to make sure that our machine is restart and start from the proper BIOS code without modification, and only the software can recognize the attack, cyber attack below the operation system. Another point is the access and to our data. Identification by people who have access to our computer, by the fingerprints, by the face recognition, by the password. The combination, all this identification is more and more critical. Also, automatic management of our security systems is important. Why? Because the numbers of the complication, numbers of security parameters, even on the printer, could be more than 200. So no one from CIO is able to manage manually every printer in the net and fix the parameters. So remotely management from the one point, establish the proper security in the company, policy security, help us to manage the full net of our notebooks and our printers. As I said, HP Inc. worked on the security software security solutions for so many years. We are proud that during the several years we got the award that some of our products are officially announced as the most secure products on the world. During these few years, just example of a few of them. If we look at some example of the security, what we see on the notebooks, on the mobiles, and some what we actually start to pass to the other devices, to printers, because as I said, printers become the normal device with the full software and can be very easy hacked. So first level of the security is the operation system and below the operation system. The system must be checked before we start, when we open the notebook, when we open the device. So every time we have a blueprint copy. any changes by the virus in the code of BIOS or the software is automatically restart. Automatically system start use the hard copy of the blueprint of the software. Second, the all fraud is also reported immediately, so we have evidence for the frauds, what we can report to the police, to the investigators. Another point is that if we system automatically correct the software and the operation system if we see the mistakes. Next point, what is important, is also the authentication and access to our devices. As I said, it's a password, it's a face recognition, it's a fingerprint, but also very multi-factor authentication combination, all of that. Another, the easy access by the IT administrator to the management, to the policy of the password, what could be centrally established for the biggest organization. In terms of the physical access to our data, there's like a security by protect us from the view by other colleagues who sit close to us. But not only this, it's also the automatic erase of the information if notebook is stolen. It's also automatic blocking access and blocking our mobile when, for example, we forget. We have a phone, we can move out from the phone, from our mobile. If we are in the distance more than 3 meters, the device could be automatically blocked. The same security we pass to our printers. I will not go to details to this, but the idea is that all the research and development in this area, what we did on the mobiles, on the computers, actually we pass and also implement in the printers. As I would like to again remind you, only 19% of the printers in the world are properly secured against the cyber attack. One of the solutions what could be also recognized here as very important is to protect the prints from the wrong access by the wrong people. So you can print only on the request. You can print only when you put the password on the printer. The print can follow you. You don't need to print from the specific printer. You can, by the authentication yourself, you can print from any device what is closest to you and only you. You can print only on in the specific time. So we protect the data, not only what are on the device, we protect also data what are out already printed. So as I said, the printing, the security is very, very complex. So without support from by the trainings, by the professional companies like HP Inc., it's very difficult to be updated, to have the right policy established in the companies. So we also provide the consulting, we provide the trainings and provide the support in the services for our product and for all our solutions. So that's our vision. We would like to be we would like to produce the most secure devices. We would like to provide the best solutions and the services, and also lead all trends and standards on the market, what I hope successfully we do today. Please remember, that's something what we will be very quickly established and we need to follow as a rules in Europe. The data breach notification will be requested in 7 to 2 hours. Adequate security must be measured. We will be responsible for the control and security personal data. We need to implement the breach monitoring and reporting, what is already must be supported by the software. And we have also will be punished by the high penalties if we do not fulfill the legal requirements. So I hope we'll be able to help you. At the end, I would like you to ask or invite everyone who has a much more detailed questions to the corner. We are here for you during the whole day tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Mr. Director, to cut the time, but we have another presentation, and we do invite you for the one of the greatest place we have, the HB corner. So please go there. And now, what I'd like to ask to the podium director from Polskie Sieci Elektroenergetyczne, przepraszam, Mr. Jarosław Sordyn. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to be very brief because time is coming to the very interesting panel discussion. So, let's start from a recently published report about a very scary thing that we know about APT groups. That reports reveal that cyber attackers reach the new level of ambition with extraordinary attacks. And due to that, we probably every day see such information on media that is about last attacks. I will be talking about that later. WannaCry and Petya. And from the perspective of industrial control system, we are seeing much higher degree of sophistication than ever before. And most of our ICS system were built before these cyber attacks existed, so we don't have such a built-in security solution in this environment. And due to that, we have attackers, APT groups, and what is the motivation? When we assess these groups and the attacks, the single greatest motivator for cyber attackers is profit. No doubt, this is the profit. But of course, we know that some kind of groups, APT groups, are state-sponsored, so they have, for example, political reasons to attack our environment. And of course, we spotted some attacks that, for example, one person committed, and, for example, that was revenge. When we're talking about cyber attacks and cyber threats, I mentioned about, for example, WannaCry. This is the significant example of ransomware attack, May 2017, this year. Probably you heard about that. Ransomware crypto war who spread very quickly during the one day. 30,000 computers were infected in 150 countries. That is very quick. That is very quick. And this is the WannaCry and NotPetya scale of this attack. You can see here what kind of companies were targeted and what kind of losses this malware caused. In the next month, NotPetya, this malware used the same exploit, Eternal Blue, and spread very quickly. It starts from Ukraine, and then even Poland was targeted. And what is very interesting, that the real purpose of this malware is not demanding the ransom, but destroy the data, information. And from my perspective, because I work in a very complex environment where we have ICS solutions, that was very significant information this year published by Asset and Dragos about very complex malware named Industroyer and Crash Override that you see here. It was probably used on 2015 and 2016 in Ukraine. So we have November, the December is coming, 2017. So we'll see what's happened. And APT and cybercrime groups, take a look at this, and yeah, these groups are very well organized. We can compare this group to very well organized business. There's a head, CEO, he have directors and soldiers who just taking this opportunity and just run all these kind of attacks. And how these attackers can come into our network. As you see here, there's a lot of methods. Compared to critical infrastructure that we have, it could be, for example, infection of malware, by malware. It could be sending inaccurate data. It could be interfering with our operational environment. It could be blocking or delaying data that we must receive. And why the perimeter is no longer sufficient to protect our IT or OT network, operational technology network, because these perpetrators, APT groups, can use, for example, social engineering. They can just to manipulate our users. And recent attacks, probably you heard about this report published by Symantec Security Group. North American and European energy sector are being targeted by a new wave of cyber group Dragonfly. And of course, probably you heard as well the new ransomware attack called Bat Rabbit, who spread from Russia to Ukraine, and now we know that the Turkey and Germany was hit as well. So, where to start, what to do in this very complex and scary time, what we do? By analyzing our situation last year, we decided to establish computer emergency response team that I work for, and we try to do best to improve our security with many actions. You have seen some following products that we deliver to our organization. For example, alerts and warnings, until to analysis of inquiry reports and training to our users. And yeah, of course, what we can do. We can do a lot, but it is tough to just improve our security because the solutions are changing very quickly. We have on the other side APT groups, and yeah, the main 3 points: be aware of the cyber threats, undertake any steps that you can do to prevent your environment, and don't forget about your employees, your users, because as you know, this is the weakest link, and if we train these people, our organization could rise security to the higher level. Because time is up, probably. Thank you for your attention.